What's up, agents? Zer here, welcome back to the lab. Today I've got some exciting news for you guys. The brand new update 1.6 has just released. Now, unfortunately, there are not a whole heck of a lot of features in this particular update, but these are all things that we have been waiting since Phase 1 and 2 of the Aquatic update released to Bedrock Edition, which the fact that we finally have these features is actually really nice. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to do is going to head over to this cage right here and look at this guy up in the corner. Now, this is a phantom. Now, for those of you who are experts at Minecraft probably already know what this is, but for those of you who don't, basically during Minecon Earth of last year, Mojang had a little bit of a contest between 4 different mobs, and whichever mob won would end up going into the game, and unfortunately for the other 3, they would never be seen again, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. And these phantoms, which during Minecon Earth were technically called Monsters of the Night Sky, were obviously the winner. Now, what these guys do is that they are hostile mobs, which they will spawn at night. They spawn 20 to 30 blocks above you, and they spawn in up to packs of 4. They will spawn alone, but they can also spawn in up to packs of 4. So they're actually really dangerous, and they attack you if you have not slept in up to 3 Minecraft nights. So that is actually kind of important to have a bed at this point in time. So if you don't have a bed and you haven't slept in a while, well, you're going to have a nasty encounter with one of these guys. Now, they are technically undead mobs, which means they will burn in the daylight. So, while you may not necessarily be safe at night, you are pretty much going to be safe during the day, which is actually rather helpful to know. And this right here is the brand new spawn egg form. It's a nice blue and green color, which is actually kind of nice. And they actually have a little bit of a behavior problem as of right now, which Mojang is already aware of this bug, and they are already working on a fix for this particular bug. They do not swoop down to attack you as of right now, which that is actually technically their primary mode of attack, is to swoop down, but unfortunately that is not the case. Again, Mojang is currently working on a patch to this bug, so they're not really as dangerous as of right now as they're supposed to be. Now, they actually have a brand new command associated with them, and to be more specific, it is a brand new game rule, and that is do insomnia. Now, do insomnia is set to true by default, and what it does is it tells the game whether or not phantoms are allowed to spawn, which is actually a rather helpful game rule to have, because if you have like an adventure map that you're putting together and you're going to want your player to go back and forth between different areas of the map to complete certain quests, you probably do not want these guys interfering with your player's quest whatsoever, and so it's actually beneficial to go ahead and set do insomnia to false to prevent that from happening. It's actually really smart that Mojang decided to implement that in for these brand new mobs. It's actually kind of cool. Now, that is not all to the actual phantoms themselves. They actually have a very particular drop to them, and that's this right here, the phantom membrane. Now, there is a chance they will not drop this, much like a ghast tier is not guaranteed to drop from a ghast. But they also, when they are dropped, they only drop one. Kind of like gas dropping only one gas tier. And you can do 2 different things with these phantom membranes. The first thing, you can repair an elytra in an anvil. Now, previously, before we had phantoms and phantom membranes, if you want to repair an elytra in an anvil, you had to use leather, which now that we have the phantom membrane, makes a whole heck of a lot more sense to repair the elytra with it. Now, that's not the only thing that you can do with the phantom membrane. You can also put it into a brewing stand, and you can get yourself a potion of slow falling. Now, let me go ahead and switch into survival mode to demonstrate this potion of slow falling, and we're going to head our way into the obsidian chamber, because I have something specifically set up inside the obsidian chamber to demonstrate this potion of slow falling. So we're going to go ahead and climb all the way up to the top of this ladder. This is going to bring us to the very top of the obsidian chamber. And what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and drink this potion. And now I'm going to go ahead and jump off. And as you can tell, I slowly float down. And I take absolutely no fall damage whatsoever. So that's what the potion of slow falling does. You can increase its duration with redstone. However, you cannot actually put glowstone into it in order to increase its effectiveness. So that is a little bit of an issue, but it actually makes a little bit of sense. So let's go ahead and go back into creative mode. Now, next up, the next feature that I'm going to be showing you guys is actually a bug fix of all things. This is a water bottle. Now, this may not seem like a big deal, but when 1.5 came out, there was actually a bug where water bottles with absolutely nothing brewed in them would actually have a red color to them. So now Mojang has actually went ahead and fixed that, and now they actually are back to blue. Now, honestly, I don't understand why Mojang didn't just send out a bug fix for this particular thing along with other bug fixes they did during 1.5, but now we actually have the proper texture for the water bottles back, which is actually kind of nice. Now, last but not least, as you can tell, if I look right here, you can see there's a hitbox around a block right here, but there's actually nothing here. Well, that's because we actually have a brand new block, the barrier block. And this is what it does. So basically, it's like an invisible wall that you cannot go through, and you can only access barrier blocks using commands. So let me go ahead and open up commands really quick. So go ahead and do give at P, and I go ahead and do BAR. So as you can tell, right above iron bars, I have barrier available. So you can only get these, as I mentioned, with commands. And you can always see these barrier blocks when you're holding them. However, when you're not holding them, they become completely invisible. And something to note is that you can only view barrier blocks when holding the item if you're in creative mode. If you're in survival or adventure mode and you hold the barrier blocks, you're not able to see them whatsoever. You will be able to see the hitbox, and you will obviously tell you can't walk through them. But if you have a barrier block in your hand, it only works in creative mode, allowing you to see them. So that is the brand new barrier block. Now, there is one brand new feature that was, as far as I'm aware, supposed to make it into 1.6, but either it wasn't finished in time or they're going to be waiting until another patch. I'm not 100% sure, but that is the brand new scoreboard command. I don't know if I can show an example, but basically what it does is that if you take a look in the top left hand corner where it says my coordinates, well, basically it has something similar to that in the center of the right hand side of the screen. It'll display certain stats depending on how the command is set up. Again, I do not know whether or not that was supposed to be put into 1.6 or if they were waiting until 1.7 to implement it. But either way, unfortunately, that is one feature that we were expecting that we did not get just yet. But other than that, that is actually it for this brand new update for at least right now. So this is where I'm going to go ahead and end off the video. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you did, make sure that like button. One more, to make sure that subscribe button for future content. Also, you can find me on Twitter at AgentCPU0 to stay updated. This has been Zer0's. Thank you guys for watching, and with that, I'll see you guys later.